Did you know that Alpha 323 doesn't just have a ton of neat feature updates for the Precision universe, but it's also got an entire host of new tracks, modes, fixes, and more for Arena Commander? Well, it does. Here's Arena Man Duncan Bunting himself to tell us more. I'm just giving everybody nicknames now. You only have 8 minutes to explain all the Arena Commander things coming in Alpha 323.
Forson's taking half of it. So with... all right.
7 minutes, 50 seconds.
What? For 323, we've got a bunch of new maps. We've got 5 new racetracks coming to Arena Commander. First, we've got the Skyscraper, which is across the urban scape of Area 18. It's actually a map from the PU, which already has the holographic sign set up. So this was a fun one for our teams because we had to kind of mix Arena Commander and PU together for this race. Next up, we've got Kaplan Circuit. Kaplan Circuit is in Orison, and it is a very long but kind of straight and still challenging map. I don't think I've ever raced it without crashing after the first turn. Next up, we've got another map on Orison. It's the Dunlow Derby. Now, this was actually a community challenge from last year when the community team reached out to you guys and challenged you to get the best lap. We've now formalized it and put it into Arena Commander. Fourth, we've got Lorville Outskirts. Now, this is right beside Hurston. And the reason we're getting it into this patch now is because we got streaming, and it was actually our first ever map that we set up with streaming technology on Arena Commander. The race is across this mining forge facility that's behind Lorville, so you're ducking down and under buildings, between rocks, in and out of pylons. It's a really closed-in, high-G race in low atmosphere on a heavy planet. The fifth map is called the Stanton Pyro Jump Point. It's actually something you guys helped test, and it was implemented for the Master Mode's experimental mode for Classic Race. This map was created so that we kind of want to see the difference between players racing SCM versus Nav mode and whether they switch between them. And the map just worked so well as our second zero-G map for Arena Commander, we wanted to add it into Classic Race now that Master Modes is part of the entire game. As a bonus, we're getting Miner's Lament, which was a Classic Race map, enabled in all flight modes, so you'll be able to experience Swarm or any dogfighting mode on Miner's Lament, which is a really awesome map to experience with the new Master Mode speeds because of all the cover and debris everywhere. It really makes for a kind of a unique experience compared to our other maps. So let's get into the new experimental modes for 323, starting with Engineering. We've got 3 game modes coming. I'm going to let Torsten tell you about it.
So we introduced, with the help of Duncan's team, an experimental mode in the Arena Commander, where we have 3 different modes. It's a duel, it's a 1v6 fight, and it's the free flight. So in the first mode, in the 1v1 mode, you, as your group, are sitting in an A2 and you are facing another group of players in another A2. Ideal crew is 6 players. You fire at each other and try to destroy the other ship, while some of the players might be running around and repairing any damage that has been dealt. The purpose of our test, we focus on the time to kill, where we want to see what a difference the corresponding engineering team on the ship itself does. So we are looking at the time for how long the items actually survives, how long the fuses survive, how long the A2 itself survives, how long the players survive in that scenario. In the second mode, you are again using the A2, but this time you are not fighting another A2. This time you are fighting a group of Gladii. So the difference is that there are multiple attackers, so you basically have to coordinate your defense. But in addition to that, we are also looking into a different sized weapons, a different loadout. The A2, for example, is fully energy weapon, versus the Gladius actually has a ballistic that has different penetration values. in comparison to the disclaimer. So we put some penetration values right now on the energy weapon, which is not the plan right now for the actual release. But for our testing purposes, we needed to put some values there. The difference is it's multiple attackers with a different type of weapon set, with different type of ammunition that has a different impact on the ship items inside the A2. We are hoping to learn how much longer the A2 survives in this scenario versus multiple attackers. So if we suddenly gain an advantage over multiple attackers once an engineer is actually running around and fixing items or doing some maintenance that is required. The third mode is free flight. In free flight, you basically spawn any ship that is valid for the mode. You can familiarize yourself with the base principles of the engineering gameplay, so you can experiment with the engineering console, figure out a balanced power management. We currently already have a very limited power management available to you, where it's just about turning items on so that you are off and on to get into a positive or equal balance so that you don't deplete your battery. Also meant to be for you to help you orientate yourself for the other gameplay scenarios, so that you know where to look for the relays, where to look for the fuses, where to look for the corresponding items. So it's basically the learning practice room for the actual modes. So the intention of this test is a very focused, where we want to learn about the time to kill, not only for the ship, but also, well, actually mainly for the items. It is not the full engineering gameplay loop, so we don't showcase the full energy balance, energy management, coolant management, all the other resources that you will have. So it's just about how damage is applied, what are the tactical choices that player make, how much time it takes to kill the components, how much time it takes to kill your opponent. That's it.
Jared, how are we doing on time? Do we still have time to tell them about the other stuff?
Hurry, do it fast.
What is the other stuff? So for 323, we've also got custom lobbies coming to Arena Commander. Now, this was previously called private matches many years ago, and it's finally coming back in the form of custom lobbies. The reason it's called custom is we've got a bunch of custom settings for you guys, and this is something we're super excited to expand upon. So I want to see you guys team up with your mates, go into custom lobbies, feedback on our feedback threads of what custom settings you would like, and we'll implement them. The other big feature is obviously streaming, which I mentioned earlier. This is really awesome tech that we've finally got into Arena Commander, and it's going to let us bring quite a lot of fun stuff to you guys fairly soon. Characters in VoIP is another update coming. VoIP we're enabling in Arena Commander as well with mute and unmute functions. And your PU character is now playable in Arena Commander, so no more running about as this default bold character. You can now customize your character and bring it into Arena Commander, do whatever you want. There's also changes to Gun Rush, Pirate Swarm, general team balance. For Gun Rush, we've been working closely with the weapons team to get them the feedback that they want, so they've been helping us set up new weapon lists. One of the big Gun Rush changes is that we're adding multiple weapon lists so that we can turn on and off different weapon lists for you guys to play throughout the patch. For Pirate Swarm, the Javelins are getting replaced with 2 Idrises with a lot of firepower coming after the event that happened in 322.2. For Team Balance, we're addressing some of the challenges we've had with it recently. For 322, we tried out some stuff, and for 323, we think we've came up with the best solution. It's going to keep you playing with your teammates and have the best experience. And finally, let's talk about achievements.
Target destroyed.
So there's 2 achievement updates coming with this patch. The first one, you're able to play Endless Vandal Swarm. If you reach Rave 25, you're going to get the new Vandal Aggressor badge. Next up, we've got the 99th Test Squadron badge. Now this is a badge that was added for 322 and it's getting an update for this patch. For this badge, you just have to play every experimental mode throughout the patch. So that's most of the stuff coming to Alpha 323 with Arena Commander, but there's A couple more things, check out the patch notes when they drop, and be sure to check out Arena Commander. There's a lot of exciting things coming to the PU, but we do have some surprises still left, and that work. I felt like that was way too short. I did one quick sentence.
No, you're good.
Play Arena Commander.
So what did we learn this week? Well, we learned that there's 5 new maps for racers and a whole new mode for grab-love bikes on the way. That the next experimental modes for Arena Commander are just a narrow slice of the engineering gameplay focused on time to kill for ships and components alike. And that private lobbies, they're back. And they're called custom matches, and they'll be waiting for you when Alpha 323 drops. For Inside Star Citizen, I'm Jared Huckabee. Thanks for letting us share the process of game development with you, and we'll see y'all here next week.